In modern United Nations, we define strategy as a plan of actions designated to achieve your country's goal within the Council's topics. But how can a delegate think strategically? In other words, what are the elements, what are the factors that they should consider when they are building their own strategy? In the last video, we have discussed country stance and country policy, and these are the two areas that your strategy should be mainly focused on. However, whatever you do in the council, in the end, you have to make sure that you can achieve these two things. First, you must reasonably contribute to the solution, the draft resolution of the council. And secondly, you must also gain something from it, from national perspective. However, there are also many other factors that will essentially affect how things play out for you in the council. Keep in mind that there are other delegates within that same council, and they also have their own national interests that they have to achieve. And with that established, you understand that there must be a sort of mode of thinking, a sort of strategy to how you interact with these people to be able to achieve your goal. To that effect, we have provided and prepared a few tips and tricks. First tip, go local. Always start with the countries that are geographically close to you in the committee. Chances are these countries will have more or less the same position or similar interests compared to you. What you should do is try to approach them, discuss with them, see about their interests and goals in that committee, and from then on, find a point of common interest upon which you and those delegates can develop a framework, a sort of plan of actions toward resolving the committee's topics in your own ways. This will significantly increase your chances of getting your voice heard and getting what you want, where there are so many voices speaking on the same position. Second tip, start from the little things. Now this one's a bit trickier to understand, but essentially, you wouldn't want to go all out in support or in opposition of a country or a nation. Instead, what you want to do is to start building up your confidence, not throwing it all out for other countries. Start from the small things, from the innocuous, like you would want to support the voting of the motion, you offer little tidbits of advice on how to improve the speech of that nation, and then you move towards the bigger, more substantive benefits, like I will vote for you in your draft resolution, or I will sponsor your draft resolution. This will make it so that your negotiation becomes more convincing and you as a delegate becomes more trustworthy. Third tip, stand your ground. As the benefits and the negotiations start to roll, it can get quite easy for you to be carried away in all these. Understand that the benefit that come from negotiations also come with a condition, an obligation that you and your country must fulfill. Countries grant and give out benefits for a reason, is that one way or another they're going to benefit from that anyway. So with that in mind, what you should understand is to critically analyze your own country's policy and stance to be able to substantiate your speech and the actions you undertake. And what else is that you need to find yourself an ally, someone who is historically on good relationship with your country, who can mutually benefit from your actions that both of you undertake. So, let's recap what we've gone through today. First, we understand that strategy in modern United Nations is a plan of actions designated to achieve your country's goal within the committee's topics. Secondly, whatever you do in the committee, you must be able to contribute and commit reasonably to the committee's solutions, but also somehow gain from it nationally. Third, you should always go local. Start out with a country that are geographically close to you in the committee. Fourth, you should start with the little things. Build up your confidence and your trust instead of going all out in opposition or in support of a nation or a country. And lastly, you should and must always stand your ground. Understand that benefits that come from negotiations also come with a caveat, a condition that you must fulfill. And so, in order to act accordingly, you must be able to critically understand your country's stance and therefore interact with intentions.